Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's program, The Roundtable. My name is Isa Nu. But there we still ask major questions with regards to how the telecommunication industry is being managed within the country. This is something that definitely affects everybody. Someone definitely once said that in the past, we used to have nuclear family, but now there seems to be a family that they call it atomic family, a family that you are very, very close to. A kind of a nucleus family, no longer a nuclear family, because of the use of the gadget, that's the telecommunication gadget we have, the phones, and all sorts of technology that we use to manage issues. But then it is worrisome that the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators of Nigeria, ALTON, has asked for upward reviews in voice calls, SMS, and data. And Nigeria's leading telecommunication companies lost over 17,000 subscribers between June 2021 and February 2022. Now, for every 1,000 naira airtime, additional 100 naira has been added. For subscribers, this is uncomfortably unexpected. Why should subscribers bear the cost of every tariff and data hike? Nigeria has witnessed phenomenal growth since the full liberalization of the telecommunication sector. Nigeria is now considered to be the leading mobile telecommunication market in Africa in terms of subscribers base. Teledensity and inflow of foreign direct investment, according to the Nigerian Telecommunication Commission, which is the organization saddled with the regulatory responsibility of the sector. However, the rapid growth of mobile telecommunications is not without its challenges, as the adoption of mobile communication services in Nigeria means the rollout of several base transceiver stations, that's the BTS operation, on diesel fuel, because so many parts of the country lack reliable electricity supply. The cost associated with this form of power supply, as stated in this article, are environmental. And then we also have the issue of economy, and we also have the last, which is definitely the issue of security challenges. And then with the understanding of the effect of the use of fossil fuel generators to power BTS sites, it appears to be highly unstable and unsustainable. Yet, Nigerian Communication Commission says the country's internet subscriber rose to 148.10 million in April 2022. There are about 209,601,095 mobile users in Nigeria. Telecommunications played a huge role as Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 3.1% in the first quarter of 2022. The highest first quarter growth in 7 years, according to data from the Nigeria National Bureau of Statistics. So the industry, which grew by 14.5%, an increase from 7.69% in the same period last year, contributed the single most to GDP in the first quarter. The telecommunication industry has seen strong growth based on the increase in revenue base due to improvement in mobile penetration. This was said by Omotola Abimbola, a senior portfolio manager at the Lagos-based investment bank Chapel Hill, Denham. Compared to the United States, Nigeria is massively lagging behind in the development of telecommunications. Under the country code +234, there were a total of 204 million connections in 2020. Among them were 204.23 million mobile phones, which correspond to an average of 0.99 person, that's per person. So now, if you look at all these issues, these are issues that definitely needs one to have a clarity on how things work in the telecommunication industry. And to discuss this with me this morning is nobody but Mr. Chinonso Stanley Ndukwe, the CEO. He's a CEO and a consultant in business and management. So we'll be having this discussion so that we can unravel all that is happening within the telecom industry this morning. So we'll go on a very short break. And when we return, we'll start up with the conversation.
The welfare of millions of people for generations to come may be affected by the wisdom which we hear displayed. If Nigerian leaders and our British partners are to prove themselves worthy of their trust, now is the time for us solemnly and truly to dedicate ourselves to seeking the greatest good of the greatest number of our people in Nigeria. Independence for Nigeria in 1960 is imperative. But independence for Nigeria as a corporate entity is not enough. The peoples of Nigeria must at the same time be guaranteed their freedom. We must ensure that in an independent Nigeria, individual citizens throughout the land enjoy liberty, human dignity, and equality under the law. There must be one Nigeria with one constitution and one law for all. Let us therefore, Mr. Chairman, sir, close our ears to the counsel of despair, which says that we cannot here at this conference agree on a constitution. If there's any doubt among us as to what should be written into the constitution, let us, as Democrats that we profess ourselves to be, refer such problems, as the goal has done recently, to the people whom we profess to represent, either just before or at the federal elections late in 1959.
The challenge of Nigeria as a free state in 20th century Africa is the need to revive the stature of man in Africa and restore the dignity of man in the world. Nigerians believe passionately in the fundamental human rights. We regard all races of the human family as equal. Under no circumstance shall we accept the idea that the black race is inferior to any other race. I appeal to all our leaders, far and near, to forget the wounds which were inflicted in cause of our internecine altercations. The love of our country should outweigh the love of our petty selves. The enjoyment of individual freedom under the law should mean more to us than our self-centered party programs and manifestos. Common dangers and common enemies alert us on the need for common security. Come and join Abubakar with me, Sadauna, Awolowo, Akitola, Osarebe, Okpara, Ikoku, Aminu Kano, Ibrahim Imam, and Tata. Let us bind the nation's wound and let us heal the breaches of the past, so that in forging our nation, there shall emerge on this continent a hate-free, fear-free, and greed-free people who shall be in the vanguard of a world task force whose assignment is not only to revive the stature of man in Africa, but to restore the dignity of man in the world.
Welcome back to the conversation this morning on the Roundtable program. So now, Doctor, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Nuhu. Thank you for inviting me to this program once again.
Okay, now the communication industry, let me say the telecommunication industry in general, is something that is very, very important, most especially when you want to move the country forward. And looking at our present status quo, what do you think is happening with the current trending issues on this telecom industry?
Telecommunication has absolutely aided our GDP growth this 2022. So I can see in two particular areas there are progress. In the issue of visibility, the telecom industry is quite visible in Nigeria. We have them, associating with a lot of celebrities. We hear about what they are doing on the news, adverts and all the rest of them. So in terms of visibility, they are good. Then in terms of profitability, is a wonderful trend. They are having profits. 2021, MTN made 181 billion naira in profit. This year alone, their revenue is about 1.41 trillion. So in terms of what is trending, they are very, very good in terms of profit. But there are three areas they have absolutely done dishonorably. In the area of infrastructure, they have not done well at all. They are not actually progressing. Nigeria is about the 105th in terms of Mbps, what they call megabytes per second. Our speed is about the lowest in the world. Very, very sad. The infrastructure is very, very bad. Our infrastructure is very, very bad. Then in terms of customer relationship, you can imagine NCC has given them ultimatum, 30 days ultimatum to make sure they respond to all the customers that are complaining against them. 3,115 customers has not been attended to for a couple of months now.
This cut across all the
networks, MTN, Glo, and Airtel, and then Nine Mobile, and the rest of them. So in terms of customer management, they're not good. Then consumer satisfaction. Most users, most subscribers are not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with what we are having here in Nigeria. Given that I have used even Etisalat in Dubai, I have used Vodafone, I have used Orange O2 in London, I have used Airtel in India, I am not satisfied. The issue of satisfaction, consumer satisfaction, is at its lowest ebb in Nigeria. And then thirdly, the issue of we don't have what we call extensive CSR for our telecom systems. They're not being corporately and socially responsible at all. These are the trending issues. Most, for example, you hear about MTN sharing drugs. How many schools, how many education centers have been powered by Glo, by Airtel? What are they doing? How many organizations today, nursery schools and children's schools, have been partnered with by MTN and Glo to help them in data production, in data usage, and data development? So on the issue of, these are the three areas they have a lot of work to do.
Okay, you've raised an issue with regards to these four major networks, and then when you look at the issue of the CSR, that's the customer service relation, yes. And then if you look at also what they do, yes, as part of improving livelihood in those areas where they have their facilities. But then if you look at it, should that be their own problem?
It's a major problem because, for example, I always talk about sustainability because I'm a sustainability expert and I have done a lot of research on sustainability. In FCT, for example, are you aware that MTN has 130 illegal masts? Those masts are in residential areas. Those masts are not only polluting the environment, they are causing noise pollution. And they are using diesel.
You have the facts to back this up that they are
illegal. Of course,
illegal.
Published by Punch. And they are still trying to make sure they resolve the issues of uprooting, removing all those masts. Those masts you see, they are using diesel power, the diesel mechano to power them. What are they doing? They are polluting the environment, making our people sick. Why can't they get investment from clean gas? The UK powers, all their systems are powered by gas. Why can't they have a clean gas, LNG, that will power all their systems? Of course, that will be more expensive, but that will be more cleaner for the environment. So what we are looking at is a very recalcitrant, lackadaisical, weak, and disloyal, socially irresponsible telecom systems in Nigeria today. So it's their responsibility to take care of the environment, take care of the people, take care of the customers, as well as even the communities. They are not doing enough. Like I told you earlier, they are making profit. They are good in profit. Every quarter, they make billions in profit. But to invest 20% of that money in clean energy, in better services, they don't want to do that. Because our people are subservient. Our people are not ready to go to all their offices, make sure there's a demonstration that will stop them from what they are doing. They are not helping matters. They complain. During my research for this program, I spoke to a lawyer. He told me there are two things that makes him think of throwing away his phone. Sometimes he keeps having issues of network, and he will call MTN, call Glo, call their networks. They can't even respond to him. Sometimes 2 months, they don't respond and solve their problems. Why? This is a problem. This is an issue that our telecom system and industry should look at and solve.
But then, if you compare what we have here in Nigeria and
yes.
then You look at other places, but people still believe that the telecommunication networks
Yes.
are really doing far better compared to other places. But because when you compare them to other developing countries in terms of efficiency, people still argue that they are still doing their best.
Are you aware that, like I said, Nigeria is 105th? Ghana is even doing better than Nigeria. South Africa is doing better than Nigeria. Tunisia is doing better than Nigeria. Nigeria is an oil economy. Nigeria has a wide reach of wealth that should make us have the best network in Africa. South Africa has no oil. They don't have gas. What we have today should be able to propel the telecom industry to do the best. We have more businesses in Nigeria than South Africa. They are making billions from our companies. As an individual, you're getting data. You know how much millions you spend in a year? If you calculate it, you marvel. What about organizations in Nigeria, even in FCT alone, industries, that they are powering their data? With all the billions they are making, they are not putting enough for speed. Nigeria has 13.6 Mbps data speed. Watch your YouTube. You see it, you see how slow it is. Go to Ghana or South Africa and watch YouTube. You will be thinking that Nigeria is in hell. We are backward in our telecommunication innovativeness. We need innovators in that system. That's why I'm very, very, very happy about Starlinks. Elon Musk Starlinks is about 69.7 Mbps. Once you open and want to browse, 2 minutes, you have finished what you want to research. Those of us who are in the research industry, we want to do research in Nigeria. It costs you more. You load 10,000 naira in a week, it has finished. Why? Why would they tell you one gig for a month? In 2 days, the one gig finishes. Because they are charging us per second. Other places, they will target this 1 gig for 1 month. They will incorporate it in everything you're going to do because they have studied what you do. But in Nigeria, it's not the same. That's why they're making more profit here than they make in South Africa. Because our people have been so clipped. This is where the government should come in. NCC and they have tried their best, but their best is not enough. At this point, the National Assembly has to come in. There should be trying to tax or, give MTN, Glo, and all these telecom companies, punish them is not enough.
So why do you believe that this is not justifiable based on the services we get from them?
Because Nigeria has over 200 million subscribers, owners of phones. Nigeria is a big market. Nigeria is a big fish in the telecom industry. In fact, we're the biggest in Africa. People are using internet, using phones, mobile technology in Nigeria a lot. So the kind of revenue they get here is not quantifiable with the infrastructure they are putting down. So it's not justifiable. They should put what they are making in profit back to our people, back to the infrastructure. Are you aware that all this mass to see around is only 2G and 3G, maybe a little bit of 4G? They are not efficient. They're not effective. Why are we using 2G? Some phones they say it's 2G. Why by in most countries in the developed world, 4G has even, nobody's even thinking of 4G anymore. Most people are using 5G, and 5G is fast. Network is fast. Do you know that these phones we are talking about, a lot of people have lost their marriages because of phone.
Yeah.
You make a call, you call your wife, he's not picking, you think that she's doing something somewhere. But the network is bad. You get high blood pressure. But abroad, you make a call, there's response, there's quick response, even in business. Even in schools, a lot of schools are using online data, using data online. Here, it's hard for you to study online. It is cumbersome for you to even use your data you paid for. Sometimes, before you finish your data, they will overcharge you. In most cases. And when you complain, there's no response. Currently, me and my colleagues, we are doing a research about a comparison between what is obtainable in South Africa, in Johannesburg, and in Abuja. We are studying the use of MTN data here and there. The research will finish by November, and we'll publish it in an international journal. We are comparing what we have in Nigeria. Why is it worse than what they have in South Africa? And what we have noticed is just difference in government, difference in mentality and orientation. Their group of friends can divide themselves in different units and sue MTN. When they have 30 court cases regarding their data speed, they will make sure they will sit up because they're going to pay billions in such mass, suits. But we don't have it in Nigeria. Nigerians don't have that egalitarian and patriotic edge to fight for their rights. Nigerians are the best people on earth. We don't really fight for our rights. We are too calm. We are happy people. We just make us happy. Just improve our data. Make it cheaper for us. We don't like trouble. Nigerians are very nice people. Oh. I live in the UK. And I can tell you that you can't do this and go free. The whole street will block that particular network. Take them to court. When you pay them billions in pounds, then nobody will tell you to go and invest in infrastructure so that you can be able to serve your customers well. Because you're making the profit. You have revenue. Nigerians are buying that every day. So why can't you use it for them and buy the best infrastructure? Give us 4G at least that is good. In my estate, we don't have network in FCT. You cannot call me on my Glow line and you get it there. You can't. FCT. This is Federal Capital Territory. Like the city of power in Abuja, in Nigeria. Our estate, you can't get Glow network there. This is wrong. What do we do about this? What do we do? We need to make sure that the telecom industry, the profit they are making, they should put it back to their infrastructure. Build the best mast. Use clean energy, not diesel. Diesel is polluting the environment and causing our people harm. So this is the way forward. The matters arising is that there should be not just an overhaul. There should be a disruption. People like Starlinks and other companies from abroad should come into this industry and boost our data centers. That's why I'm very impressed with those young people who are trying to bring in some organizations here that can boost our telecom industry, like Smile, like Spectranet, and the one that the government uses. What do we call it again? There's one organization that the government uses, Galaxy something. They are also trying to all they can do to boost their infrastructure too, because the way forward for the telecom industry is infrastructure revolution. It will help our businesses. Remember, like I said earlier, in terms of visibility and profitability, the telecom is good. They're making profit. In fact, they made more profit than oil economy, the oil industry in 2021. So they are helping our GDP. But let there be expansion of that profitability into infrastructure revolution, infrastructure overhaul, change their mast system, get better, modernized and new recent equipment on the cloud, like Starlinks. That'll be fast. Faster internet, faster businesses, and more money, and more GDP.
Okay, now that you've raised all these issues, but then at the end of the day, people still believe that if the responsibility for them to do all these things are not truly checked, it will continue to be abysmal in terms of their output. But then we still have question with how their issues are being regulated. Because I remember some time back, even the National Assembly had to invite them for questioning with regards to how they carry out their activities in Nigeria. So now, if you look at all these network providers in Nigeria now, do you see this as just their problem, or it is a problem of those that are supposed to look or to oversee their affair?
First of all, is a stakeholder issue. You don't blame NCC alone. You don't blame the telecom providers alone. You don't blame the government alone. You don't blame the people alone and the communities. Everybody is involved in this challenge. It's a stakeholder problem. Government is doing their best to make sure they regulate them. The telecom industry or the companies are also doing their best because they are also overcharged. They are overtaxed. Their taxation from state level is quite high too. State governors are charging them separately for all their masks. They're paying a lot of taxes too. Are you with me? They're also paying a lot of taxes to NCC too. Are you with me? So the challenge we're having is that there is no stakeholder cohesion. You hardly hear about telecom industry campaign, whereby we'll have what they call town hall meetings with subscribers and users coming with the government, senators, governors, councillors, with the providers, and look for a solution to solve the problems. We don't have such programs happening every month in different cities in Nigeria, and which is wrong. When there is a kind of stakeholder get together often. And as people are complaining, the stakeholders in terms of the telecoms, the NCC, they are coming in, showing that seriousness that they want to solve the problems. You see that industry will revolutionize rapidly. So this is the area we are looking at. We have to come together as stakeholders in this telecom industry to build it. People should be able to not just complain, go to the extra mile and go into court. Government should also work on NCC. Look at the HR. Look at the human resource. The people, they are not the experts. Send them on training to go to places like India, to Dubai. Find out how they are being regulated there. Bring the same model to our model here. Because our model is very bad. Everybody that uses all these networks complain. I never complained one bit for 6 years in the UK. I never complained one bit of internet. When they give you internet for 1 month, it's 1 month. If they give you that 10 gig will last. Our 1 gig in Nigeria is like 100 megabytes abroad. It's slow. It's not efficient enough. It's not robust. It finishes rapidly. And the issue of network breakage is rampant in Nigeria. Sometimes there will be network, they won't announce it to you. There will be network failure, they won't send you messages. Please, there will be network failure, so period. Sometimes 1 to 2 days, no network. Billions are lost. Businesses are lost. There's a young girl called Sambiat. Sambiat applied for a job in Australia to be a nutritionist. Her job requires that she'll be addressing people who have diabetes, people who have cancer, be treating them directly on what they'll eat. Mornings, she'll call them and give them the food they'll eat, prepare it, show them how to prepare it, help them as a nutritionist. She was supposed to do the interview online. The day of the interview, she was using Airtel. You know that there was no network through that day. The job was $21,600. She was supposed to make around 12 billion naira every month. For 3 good hours, network was collapsed. She couldn't look for any network. Nobody was. That's how she lost that job. Many people have lost their job because of this kind of network.
Okay, Doctor, we'll continue definitely with stories like this because these are issues that definitely we have to discuss, and there are issues that borders every Nigerian, because it wouldn't be good that just the same network, you've purchased a recharge card for your phone and then you cannot use it to make calls, you cannot use it to...
It's all shades of wrong.
So these are issues, these are very, very important issues that we'll continue to bring to the front burner so that those that are responsible to look at issues like this will definitely take it up with them. But then we'll go on a very short break, and then when we return, we'll continue with the conversation on the importance or the need for us to look at the matters that are within that particular telecommunication sector. So let's go on this break.
Thank you very much.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be wielded by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
Welcome back, and still with me in the studio is Dr. Stanley Ndukwe. Good joining. We are having a major discussion on the issue that has to do with the telecommunication industry, and you know definitely we have 4 major network providers in the country, and with this we've received so many complaints with regards to how they render services to Nigerians, and these are definitely issues that it won't be good we take issues like this lightly. We have to also do our own part for those in authority to also take note of and then take the necessary action. So now, Doctor, you've raised so many of these issues, but then still, we'll allow those at home to also join the conversation. And the number to dial is 09057408127. I'll take that again, 09057408127. So now, let me quickly come back to you. You were given an analogy earlier on with regards to someone who lost a job as a result of the issue of a poor network. We've seen so many Nigerians complain about this. Those that does business, those that are expecting important messages at the right time, and then you fail to get this. But shouldn't the federal, there is this commission that is responsible, Consumer Commission, I think, FCC, PC, I've forgotten the full name about the agency now. They should be responsible in taking some of these decisions, in terms of putting pressure on some of these agencies to see that, yes, they are more efficient in their service delivery. So you've also said that this is something that has to do with all hands on deck. We all have to bring our hands on deck, not just casting aspersion on the government, on the private sector, or the regulatory agencies and the rest of it. So if that is the case, won't it be very difficult if we say we need everybody's hands to be on deck? Why not those that are saddled with this responsibility take it as their responsibility?
Yeah, the fact remains that you don't point fingers at government alone. Government has a job to do. The telecom industry, the companies have their own jobs, responsibilities.
But you've also raised the issue of taxation earlier. They are overtaxed. They are overtaxed.
Yes.
So probably that could also be the reason why we're having what we're having.
It's not the reason why we're having what we're having. Overtaxation is a different issue altogether. If you overtax a very effective and efficient industry, the people will even rise for them. People will write petitions to government against it. The issue is they have not become efficient. And they are not effective. They lack the competent hands to handle their projects and their products. So that is the service problem we're having.
But the telecommunication industry, hasn't it been open to all, irrespective of where they are coming from? We have 4 major network providers.
It has been liberalized,
yes.
We know. But liberalization of an industry does not amount to effectiveness or efficient management of that industry. Are you with me? Just like my mentor, Jim Rohn, he said, if you motivate an idiot, you have a motivated idiot. If you liberalize a bad industry, you have a liberalized bad industry. So we don't have an efficient telecom industry. The problems we are facing is the major thing is the interest in profit. When a business is profit-oriented more than service-oriented, they'll be focused on how to make profit from people, how to make people, how to increase data. For example, they have increased the tariff. Now, when you load 1,000, you're going to pay 1,100 without pre-information. No reason for that.
I thought that was jettisoned some when the issue was earlier raised by the Minister of Information and Communication. 2
days ago, I loaded 1,000 and I was charging 1,100. I loaded 2,017. They have added a lot of monies. But apart from that, when we make a transfer on our phones, with our bank apps, MTN and Glo, they charge us. The question is why? They charge us for making a transfer. For what? These are the problems the subscribers are talking about. They have to reverse that law. That particular action is robbery. It's the only country I see that when you make a transfer from your account to another account, Telecom charges you. So they are monitoring our transactions. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? It's wrong. When we load your card, you charge us, and we even pay extra. The way we transfer money to our account, you still charge us. So these are the areas subscribers in Nigeria are absolutely mad. And
shouldn't that be the problem of the bank?
Not the bank alone.
Because
the banks are among the stakeholders, but not the bank. It's the telecom companies. They are charging us extra. The bank charges us. Telecom charges us. For what? And if you use POS also will charge you too. So we are becoming an overtaxed and overcharged economy, given the inefficiency of our telecom industry. So a lot of things are going on in the telecom industry as regards overcharges. So the problem is not because they are overtaxed. They are not efficient enough. So there is need to pump efficiency into the industry. The first area we have to look at is, like I said, infrastructure revolution. Get us 4G masts that are effective and efficient. Liberalize the providers. Let there be more companies like Huawei and all the rest of them that are supplying and working with MTN and all the rest of them. Let us have the best network service. It's infrastructure. Let all the stakeholders put their hands on desk, like I said. It is going to move this industry forward.
So now, if you look at all these things that you've raised, and you look at the present challenge we face, people do say sometimes that the hands of government is even full. So if the hands of government is full, we will not take the bull by the horn.
Frankly, the government has tried, but we need an improvement. We need a better step. See, what I was going to call importation of model. There's a book I read some time ago called Borrowing Brilliance. Borrowing Brilliance is a summation of the life of innovation in every economy. We are a product of what we have borrowed. That's why nobody should brag. Nobody should say, I am an epitome of knowledge, or I am an island on my own. Because even the clothes we wear, the cars we drive, someone produces it. There are models that we can borrow. I don't believe that we must create something new. Let's take a look at why do we have better services in South Africa. Let's sit down with their telecom providers, sit down with their own common regulators. Then we can borrow what they are doing and borrow the brilliance and bring it into Nigeria. Our tariff system and charging system is very, very bad. I have been saying it. Even when Visafone was supplying cards, I had a meeting with their managers. I am proposing a better model for you people. Take a look at what Vodafone is doing and what T-Mobile is doing in the UK and in America. Look at how they package their data systems. Let's borrow it. You are overcharging Nigerians. Is 1 gig 1 gig? If it is 1 gig, why does it finish? You have not even browsed. You check your phone the next 3 days, it's gone.
Because I've had some of these experiences also. They said, okay, you get this amount of gig. For a month or two, and then at the end of the day, it doesn't last you even a week.
A week. So something is wrong. Is there somebody working in that company that will twerk and give us 1 megabyte as 1 gig? It's possible.
But our leaders are then also having the same challenge.
They're having the challenges. They're having the challenges, but the point of the matter is, they are not prepared enough by their constituencies. See, democracy is the government of the people.
So it should be put on top.
Of course. You don't get power by going to the cinema. You get power by going to the polling unit, going to the streets. If you want to find out why the telecom industry is porous in terms of efficiency, in terms of managerial capability, ask the people, the subscribers, what are they doing to stop what is happening? You have to take it by force. You have to go to the Senate. Our people have to come together, go to the universities, look for lecturers who are telecommunication experts, find out how they can come in and speak for them.
Because it is something baffling that there are certain places within the FCT that you can't have the four major networks.
You can't have network.
And the FCT should be a smart city, a city that once you are coming in, you have everything at your fingertips. But then if you are not...
Are you aware that if you buy Glow data and go to my estate, if it's for 2 weeks data, in 2 weeks it will expire. You won't use it. It is wrong. Don't you think it's wrong? It is not something that is worth writing home about. So the government is not the issue. I believe the people has a part to play. The subscribers. I had a friend that nearly took MTN to court. They have done the preparation, but he got tired because there's no funding. So we need the legal community to come in.
Because they too, they are part of the people.
Of the subscribers. Pro bono. Gather all the subscribers that are having issues. Take these telecom providers to court. It will solve a lot of problems. When they know they will pay billions for all they have cost some of these subscribers, they will invest in infrastructure.
So are you saying that the reason why we are also having this problem is because they don't have enough facilities to accommodate our high demand?
Exactly. And they don't have the best infrastructure. They are using cheap masts. Our masts are cheap masts. They will pay more billions putting our mast on the cloud. But it will be much more effective. The data will be faster and they will make lesser money. Because when you have faster data, we'll do businesses faster and we won't need to buy 10 gigs, 20 gigs every week.
So it will not profit them.
It will profit them. So this, yes, this.
But then the private sector is all about profit making.
Yes.
Profit
no. But that is unethical profit.
That's
unethical profit.
So there should be a range with your profit.
Exactly. So they are enjoying while the subscribers are in serious hullabaloo. Are you getting me? So we need the subscribers to be educated on their rights in this telecommunication industry.
And we should do that. Shouldn't it be the NCC?
That is what we are doing now.
Okay.
Some people are watching. Millions are seeing what we are saying, and they are asking themselves, "What do we do? How can we be educated?" And we buy data every year. Have you calculated how much you spend on data in Nigeria in a year? It's easy to buy a house. This 2,000 and 5,000 you pay every week, every month. Calculate it and see how much they are taking. That's why MTN last year made 181 billion profit after tax. Doing what? Giving us poor network, insufficient data.
Well, let us not look as if we are at.
We are being analytical.
Yes,
because
I understand.
We want them to change. We want them to know that people are crying. We are helping them. They are not paying us for this conversation. In fact, they should. Because what we are trying to say is they should work on their infrastructure, work on their customer service, and then work on their CRM. Try to speak to people. When the people complain, they don't do anything. NCC, just give them 30 days ultimatum to respond to all customer complaints.
Yes, I read that this morning before the program.
So they are not doing it. We complain and they take us for granted because we are Nigerians. But if a white man in Nigeria complains, they will respond quickly. Is it a cost to be a Nigerian? Why can't they respect us? We love this country. We are good people. I have traveled around. Nigerians are good people. Nigerians are understanding people. Nigerians are one of the best givers on earth. I live abroad. You can be broke. Nobody will give you a shishi. A Nigerian will use his last card and give to you. We don't want issues. Let the telecoms, the companies, sit together and do what they are doing in South Africa for us here. Let them invest more in their fiber optic premises. Look for how to improve our data. Charge us lesser. They are overcharging us.
But one of the government agencies that has tried to put up some of this facility, Galaxy Backbone, we've seen them also making sure that they open more of these data centers and the rest of it like that. Could that be a bridge to some of these challenges we are having?
Professor Mohammed, thereabout, the guy that is in charge of Galaxy Backbone, that guy is doing a lot. He is very, very proactive. Most government infrastructure, their data centers are powered by Galaxy Backbone. They are trying to improve, but they need more funding. They need more funding and partnership. I think they should partner with Starlinks before Starlink. People are already subscribing to Starlinks. The speed is over 50 Mbps. They should partner with such organizations and leave the local ones here that are not being very, very, very proactive. Find out how they can get the best services for our government organizations, because the government organizations need data speed, data efficiency, and good data management systems that can save and record what they have. Because government is about data today. The future of the government is data. For statistics, for budgeting, for analysis, for population, census, for all the rest of them. For even INEC. INEC needs a good data system for them to be able to remit the results for 2023 election, for them to be able to be effective and be also accurate. Data can even spoil our results if the telecom industry is not very, very good. They are a peculiar, unique, and important industry for every business we are doing, including the church industry, the mosque, religion, everywhere. Food industry, they need telecoms. So I believe that Galaxy Data backbone is doing enough, but they need more funding.
So, okay.
They need more funding. I think they are asking for over 15 billion to help their infrastructure, because the telecom industry is about infrastructure. Let the structure and the infrastructure be top-notch, modernized enough to work.
So now, on a conclusive note, and what will you advise, most especially we that are resident here in the FCT, because now that we have the 4 major network providers, and then we've seen some other person trying to come into the industry, or some other organization trying to come into the industry, as you've rightly mentioned, what kind of advice would you give the FCT?
My recommendations are in 2 facets, 2 phases or 2 phases.
In 30 seconds.
Yes. Number 1 is, let the telecom providers improve their CSR. In every plaza, for example, or schools, let them build Wi-Fi centers. People can be able to have access to data. It will help. Go to places like Maraba, Nyanya, places like Kubwa, Pape, all those satellite cities. Get data centers. Build library centers for people, for our students. Then number 2, let the subscribers begin to demand for their rights. And let the demand be absolutely hard. Let it be from their heart. Let it be serious. Such demands will pull the stakeholders together, the government, NCC, the providers, to come together and do the needful.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Stanley Chinoso Ndukwe, for joining us this morning on the Roundtable program. And you've really shed more light on issues like this, because these are issues that Nigerians definitely want to. Many people have this in their heart, and then they want to really voice it out. But then probably this will be a starting point for us, and then those that are supposed to regulate that particular industry. So this is how far we can go today on the Roundtable program. And for the government, we hope much will be done with respect to this discussion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.